What's up everyone, Sean CountBlagorath here today with an album review, this time of the 2013 self-release of Runa by the Howling Void. If you're not familiar with the Howling Void, they are, or I should say, he is a one-man atmospheric doom metal band hailing from the United States. And when I say that it's atmospheric doom metal, it's very folk-oriented, and when I say it's very folk-oriented, I don't mean the typical, happy-go-lucky folk music you hear in a lot of metal nowadays. This is really stripped down neo-folk almost. I get a lot of points on this EP where it reminds me of Lord Wind and older Lord Wind. I'm a big fan of all the stuff that Rob Darkin has done, and Lord Wind is no exception. I love everything, but this really reminds me of, in the keys, a lot of Lord Wind, and that's a great thing. But when it comes to the doom side of things, it's it's not extremely slow by doom metal standards. It's more of a mid-pace. It has a black metal sort of feel to it at times. It kind of reminds me of this new wave of Cascadian black metal that's been happening here in the United States and Canada, and that's a really good thing because that's my favorite style of black metal, is this Cascadian sort of vibe. So think of the more slower moments of bands such as Skagos, in a way Wolves in a Throne Room, a little bit Falls of Raros, I think is how you say their name. Just bands like that. Think of the slower moments on their albums combined with a doom metal sort of vibe, which you do get on some of this stuff by, like, Skagos, for example. Very good stuff. The guitar is very good. It's crystal clear. The riffs are extremely atmospheric. They're drenched in emotion and feeling, and that's a beautiful thing to hear. It goes really well with everything that's going on in the context of the music, from the bass to the drums to the keyboards. Everything is pretty much syncopated perfectly, and it goes really well, and it never sort of ceases to flow. It has a continuous flow to it that is seemingly non-stop, and it's beautiful to hear. The next thing you notice is the bass. Very clear, very clean sounding, and it works so well for this really well-produced sort of blackened doom metal with this neo-folk vibe. And to me, that's a great thing, because with this sort of style, I like a more clear production, and this is about as clear as you'll get. You can hear the bass perfectly. It sticks along with the guitar a little bit. It kind of deviates just a tiny bit, but for the most part, it sticks with the guitar, and I think that's a great thing. Next, we have the drums. The drums sound fantastic, and for being a self-recording, this is very, very good. Nothing mind-blowing being done on the drums. It's very simplistic drum beats, but it holds the whole song together. It's the foundation of it. It keeps it cohesive. It makes it sound good, and the drums do a great job of what they're supposed to do, which is hold the song together. And by God, they did that. Everything sounds good. You can hear the kick drum. It's not too muddy. The snare has a good pop to it. The cymbals sound good. Just everything about the drum kit itself sounds excellent. The keyboards. The keyboards are what really dominate this album, and that's a good thing in my opinion, because it doesn't become overbearing, and it's not over the top what's being done on it. It's just very simplistic, neo-folk styled melodies and harmonies that work extremely well with the guitar riffs. And for me, within the first 7 seconds of hearing the first song on this EP, I was floored, and I was just absorbed in. And it keeps you in like that, and the keys really help with that sort of really absorbent sort of feel. You get sucked right into this album, and it's possibly one of the greatest EPs not only I've heard this year, bar none the best EP I've heard this year, but one of the best EPs I've heard, period. Vocally, this is a very, very mellowed out vocal style. It's clean. It's not too clean. It's not really pretty, quote unquote, so to speak. Kind of with bands such as like Alcest, how it's over the top with how beautiful the vocals are. These keep a very sort of subtle, depressive sort of vibe to them, and I really enjoy that a lot. And if you're a fan of doom metal, neo-folk, black metal, and just beautiful music in general, this is for you, and the vocals really magnify the emotions that are portrayed in this. Great, great stuff. Overall, for this album, I'm feeling a very strong score on this. I don't want to give it a 10, because I feel like that's almost too strong of a score. I'm giving this a 9.75. This is near perfect. My only complaint is it needs to be longer. I need to hear more of this. This is just some phenomenal stuff. I hope a physical copy will be made in the future, but until then, we can listen to it on Bandcamp. You can stream the whole thing there, or you could purchase it for $3. It's well worth the money. Just one of the best releases I've heard this year, hands down. 9.75 out of 10. That's it, everyone. Support the Howling Void. Links will be in the description to the Facebook and Bandcamp page. Definitely support them. That's it, everyone. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for subscribing. And as always, keep it